What's up, family? Welcome back to another video. So today we need to have a real conversation, not just about Angel Reese, not just about the WNBA, but about accountability in sports, the dangers of false narratives, and how this affects the growth of women basketball. Because what just happened with Angel Reese in the Indiana Fever situation, that was bigger than just a Twitter rumor. That was a case study in how quickly emotion, misinformation, and media bias can spiral into a full blown controversy that leaves the entire league looking unserious, right? So let's start from the top and break this down fact by fact. A fan who was not even at the arena tweeted that racist monkey sounds were directed at Angel Reese during a road game against the Indiana Fever. That tweet lit a fire online. Media outlets picked it up. Fans started attacking Indiana supporters. Social justice influencers chimed in. The NBA responded quickly, launching an official investigation. They reviewed arena footage, crowd audio, and interviewed security, players, and staff. The outcome: no evidence of any racist behavior. None. Zero. Nada. Even the head coach of the Sky said no one on the bench heard anything. So what happened next? Angel Reese gave a post game interview, which I want to show you guys now, and then I'll give you guys the rest of my opinion as we check out the clip. Let's check it out.
There's no place in this league for that. I think the WNBA, our team and our organization has done a great job supporting me. I've had communication from everyone, from so many people across this league, and being able to support me and going through this whole process. Obviously, it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone, and I think they've done a great job supporting us in this.
How did it affect you Saturday, trying to do your job, trying to play, and having this going on simultaneously?
Yeah, obviously it's tough, but I think I have a great support system. I'm loved by so many people, and obviously in the moment it's hard to hear, but my support system is great. God has protected me in so many different ways. I've gone through so many different things in the past couple of years of my life, but I think just having this support and this love and being a part of an organization that really supports me and loves me is something that I couldn't imagine not being a part of.
What do you think the league's response, just coming out right away and getting that investigation going?
Yeah, obviously, like I said, they understand that this is the priority. Obviously, there's no place for this, and they preach. I think 2 days before they put out no hate, no speech. And obviously, the women in this league, they know that, and know there's no space for that. And I believe that every player in this league deserves to be treated with respect and want to come to work and just have fun and have a great environment to work at. So I think they've done a great job putting that out, and we're obviously just going to respond if they need to.
All right. Angel Reese, that was her post-game interview, where although she didn't explicitly say the incident happened, she spoke as if it did. She talked about how being supported through it, how difficult it was to play through, and how there's no place for hate in the league. And look, nobody is arguing that she doesn't deserve support. Every player should feel safe. But when you co-sign a serious accusation that turns out to be completely baseless, it raises a serious question. Should there be accountability? Let's be honest. The WNBA had to respond because the accusation wasn't small. Being accused of making monkey sounds, that's not trash talk. That's not booing. That's not deeply that's a deeply um it's not a it's not a competitive remark in regards of just being a typical fan that's trash talking or booing or, you know, coming at you in regards of your game. Um, it can be seen as be known as a deeply racist action with loaded historical context. And yet the entire thing started from a third party TikTok style narrative that nobody witnessed firsthand. The person who tweeted it wasn't there. There was no video, no audio, no fan complaints during the game, no sideline reaction, nothing. And the WNBA ran a full investigation anyway. And here's where it gets messy. When the investigation came back with no evidence, people expected the league or Reese to walk it back. Instead, Nothing. No clarification, no apology to Indiana fans, just silence like it never happened. And that's a dangerous precedent, and it puts the league's integrity on the line. And now, before I zoom in and talk basketball, I want you guys to get the overall sentiment from the remarks that people been saying online about this whole situation. Now that you got the full context, you got the backstory, you got Angel Reese response to the whole investigation when it opened. As we know now, and as of today, currently the investigation is over. I told you guys the result, but these are what people are saying. These are the sentiment of the people. So someone says, let's get this straight. Someone on Twitter who was not at the game made up a lie and said they witnessed someone making monkey sounds while Angel Reese was making free throws. The WNBA immediately acts on this and publicly launches an investigation. Angel Reese hears about this after the fact in the corporates in the corporates the false and sorry family and corroborates the false allegations. Goes on TV expressing how hard it was for her. Race hustlers immediately chime in before sending hate to Indiana Fever fans slash players. The regular media losers, in parentheses, first take slash ESPN losers, also chime in to take Angel's side. Here's my question at WNBA. What is the consequences for the liars, the race hustlers, your media personnel who made you look ridiculous? Are you going to continue to allow Angel Reese and the likes to make the WNBA look like amateurs? The secondhand embarrassment I feel for you right now is painful. Now, Ben's on that it was race based, and race is obviously well correlated with hatred. Racism is, we can say, fairly equal to hatred. So that's what obviously sparked the investigation without a doubt. No question in regards of getting the facts, right? No argument there. And it's a good question that you have because the investigation was open because regardless, it needed to be because of um, the hatred controversy, let alone the hatred action that was allegedly occurring needed to be looked into to handle it as any franchise or any business should because it makes them look bad in the public eye, and you should correct it and you should come out with the facts, and let alone the consumers, aka the fan base, deserve to know what's going on in the league because without fans the franchise is nothing. So, and also it's still a business. Yeah, it's a form of entertainment, but the players are workers that work for the WNBA franchise. So just like any other corporate job or anything like that, when a hate action or a hateful action takes place, that's an automatically spark of an investigation to get things straightened out, lined out, so it doesn't ruin the reputation of the company and let alone creates a hostile environment, right? So look, I get that point is no without a question. I agree with that point that it should have been sparked. An investigation should take place. But however, I think now that they just put the thing behind them and they got the facts out, I don't think they even looking for to hold individuals accountable who entertained it and went along with their own opinions without waiting for the facts to come out, which is dangerous, like I said. But that's one person. Let's go on to another tweet. Angel Smollett, you're talking about Angel Reese. Just to give you a little bit backstory, Jesse Smollett, he was one of the star or co-stars on Empire. That was a show on Fox. He had made up it was like a race hoax or something like that that he got held accountable for, faced some jail time. Basically creating this whole scenario that he got robbed and was hatefully targeted, which turned out to be that it was a hoax that he had created on his own, and he wasn't a victim of nothing really that really took place because he created the whole thing to play as if he was a victim in a serious matter. So he got held accountable. So they're trying to say Angel Reese, corroborating with other individuals entertaining before the facts came out into the WNBA investigation. Why isn't she held accountable? Because she striked again in regards of sparking up and feeding into fuming the race whole divisive dialogue. That's why they call it Angel Smollett. But anyway, it says this is now the second race hoax Reese created / enabled in less than a year. Last June, she claimed the white Caitlin Clark fans stopped her teammates from entering their team hotel while shouting ghetto. You know, you see the word for itself. I'm not going to say that profanity. The video and her GM say otherwise. Um, WNBA admits Caitlin Clark fans never did anything racist. As you guys see the statement. On May 27th, it came out 2 days ago, which closed the investigation that I told you guys. And I told you guys the result, that there was no racism whatsoever, which is a good thing, right? It's a good thing. Someone says this league is a joke. They did an investigation and they knew there was no evidence of racism. Angel Reese is a clown. The WNBA may never turn a profit. Now, I do believe that the league, when it comes to any type of division, and in this case, racism or hatred from any player, any shape or form, it should be knitted in the bud right away. Now, the people are saying that this league is a joke because obviously they intentionally opened up an investigation. They're trying to say this is what the sentiment of the people are saying. All right, the fans, and what I've been seeing on Twitter. They're basically saying the league opened up this investigation knowing there was no evidence of racism. But what about the past when individuals were going against Caitlin Clark and making this whole black and white rivalry between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark when they both came from the NCAA in their rookie season last year in 2024, and how Angel Reese was saying that she's sexualized and she was dressing inappropriately, but saying she was sexualized, playing the victim, and how Aja Wilson and all the players were saying that, how did Caitlin Clark come in this league and they didn't basically give credit to the people that came before Caitlin Clark, like the black players and all this racism dialogue that was just spewing division instead of just appreciating the sport, appreciating the league, and how far it came and how the impact with the new generation is phenomenal. Because the fans really just want to see the growth of the sport. They want to see they want to see as the fans be in unity, the players as well, and not go against each other when it comes to spewing hateful, divisive rhetoric, let alone racism and making this a black and white thing. But just the beauty of humanity, great players, great people, and continue to build this league to hopefully be self-sufficient on his own to turn into a profit, because we know that the league lost $40 million last year in the negative and is still being funded by NBA owners in the NBA to continue to have this WNBA league franchise even be still existing to this day. But if the players don't get their act together and stop spewing divisive rhetorics like racism and stuff like that, and be professional, and inspire the younger generation, young women or younger young ladies or young girls who want to be in the NBA, who want to play basketball, inspire them to be in the WNBA. That should be the focus, and why isn't that being in focus, and why shouldn't it have been the focus instead of this whole divisive rhetoric? So that's where the fans are coming from, of basically having this thing with Angel Reese of not holding her accountable for all the things that had been said before, and multiple individuals, Cheryl Swoops, and because Caitlin Clark has changed the trajectory of the league phenomenally as a rookie, but they all benefit. But individuals were coming at Caitlin Clark saying, "Oh, she's just a rookie. She's just coming to the big leagues. She don't know what's in for her," and stuff like that. And the fouls and stuff like that was taking place that they weren't calling. Even LeBron James in the NBA was talking about it. So the fans are really frustrated with the WNBA, and I can understand where they're coming from, because they're like, "Hey, you open up a you open up a racism. I mean, you open up investigation to mine out the racism and the divisiveness, but this been happened before this investigation a whole year later in the last season when Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark came in as rookies. Why you didn't knit it in the bud then?" So let me know in your comments below, down in the comments below, how you feel about that. Do you guys agree with the overall sentiment of what the people are saying? And let's be honest, the WNBA, like I said, had to respond because the accusation wasn't small. Um, but look, the entire thing Look, if you zoom out for a minute and talk basketball, that's what I want to get to. Because this isn't just about off court drama. Angel Reese is a high profile player, no doubt. She's marketable. She built a personal brand as Bayou Barbie, a college champion, and now the WNBA rookie last year. And this is her second year in the WNBA, along with Caitlin Clark and others. But here's the reality on the court as of May 2025. She's averaging 10.8 points, 8.2 rebounds, shooting under 40% from the field, and just 57% from the free throw line. Those are not elite numbers. That's a rookie trying to find her place still. And there's nothing wrong with struggling early. It's a jump from college to pro. But if you're going to be one of the faces of the league, you got to hold yourself to a higher standard. And you can't just be the loudest voice when things are going well or when you feel slighted. You have to be accountable when the facts don't back up the emotion. And this is where real hoopers understand something casual fans might not. Being criticized is part of the game. It comes with the territory. LeBron James has been booed, called overrated, questioned every step of the way, and he's arguably the greatest player of all time. Caitlin Clark, she's going through the same fire right now. She's getting hammered by opposing defenses, media scrutiny, and online hate every time she steps on the floor, but she keeps hooping. In fact, look how Caitlin Clark handled it. She's been pushing, she's been pushed to the ground, fouled hard, called overrated, mocked. Did she cry to the media? No. She just goes out, drops 22, and keeps it moving. That's how you gain respect, not through statements, not through brand deals, but through performance. And let's talk about the foul from Kennedy Carter on Caitlin Clark. The hard shoulder check before inbound. That wasn't a basketball play. And what did the league do? They upgraded it to a flagrant foul, but again, no suspension, no real consequence. And it's in the same media that exploded over the fake racism claim, silent. Where's the energy? Where's the consistency? So here's the real talk. Now look, I support the WNBA opening an investigation and minding it out with this racism thing. Like I said, they had to, and they should, but they should have been mind these things out. If the WNBA wants to level up, it has to grow out of the victim mindset and step into the arena of professional accountability. Fans are tired of double standards. You can't scream about equality and then act like criticism equals bigotry. You want the coverage the NBA gets? You better be ready for the criticism the NBA gets too. Think about it. The NBA fined, and this is what I'm talking about, that the WNBA should have minded out right away from the beginning. Any of this type of division, because it's not good for nobody, for humanity in general. Racism, hate is all the same thing. The NBA fined Luka Doncic $35,000 for doing a money gesture. They suspended Draymond Green multiple times for dirty plays. Joel Embiid gets blasted when he underperforms, and yet somehow in the WNBA, questioning the players' field goal percentage or asking why they're missing layups turned into a debate about race or gender. And this is what we call shielding through the identity. And it's a dangerous game. And it hurts the leagues. It divides fans. And worst of all, it buries the real basketball talent out there. There are women in the league killing it right now who don't get any spotlight because the media rather cover drama than box scores. Players like Alyssa Thomas, Nafisa Collier, Sabrina Nescu are putting up all-star numbers every night. Teams like the Connecticut Sun and New York Liberty are legit contenders. But what's the national narrative is beef, is tweets, is she said, they said. That's not how you build a loyal basketball-loving audience. Now, I want to be fair here. Angel Reese is young. She's got a lot of pressure on her. She's navigating fame, criticism, expectations. And that's not easy. That's never easy. But that's what comes with the territory when you're promoted as one of the faces of a growing league. And if you want the platform, you got to own the consequences too. So here's what should have happened. Here's what should have happened. The moment the WNBA cleared Indiana fans, Reese should have issued a short, classy statement, something like, "I appreciate the support I received, but I accept the findings and I'm ready to move forward. Let's keep focus on basketball." Boom, done. That would have shown maturity, leadership, and helped rebuild trust with fans. Instead, silence, and now people are comparing her to Jussie Smollett. They're comparing her to this man, right? He did a hate crime hoax. He was indicted for disorderly conduct for paying the brothers to stage a fake hate crime and filing a false police report. They're comparing Angel Reese to him, Jussie Smollett. You guys might know him, like I said, on Empire, the show. I used to watch Empire a little bit, and then I stopped watching it. But you guys may know him as Jamal on Empire, right? He played the Empire role. So here's my message to the WNBA, to fans and players. Let's make it about the game again, all right? Let's hold everyone to the same standard, no matter your background, your following, or your brand. Basketball is about showing up, performing, and being real. On and off the court, people. On and off the court. And you want respect? Play like it. Play like it. Own your mistakes. Don't run for criticism. Grow from it. Because the truth is, the league's never been more visible. That's a fact. The league's never been more visible. And when it comes with visibility, but visibility without credibility is just noise, is where I'm getting to, family. It's just noise. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Should the league fine Reese for this? Now, and if this was the NBA 9 times out of 10, not even 10 times out of 10, she would have been fined. Because it's not her role to sit in there and be trying to add fuel to the fire. She used to play basketball. That's her job. And let the franchise do their investigation. But you don't add fuel. You don't add your opinions to it. You don't add your personal outlook on it. Her job is basketball, right? But should she be fined for this? Should there be consequences for players pushing false narratives? And is the media doing more harm than good? Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's keep the conversation real because the game deserves better. The fans deserves better. The players deserve better. You know what I'm saying? And also let me know about what you guys think about the professional attire. This is my first video ever with a suit and tie on. And I wanted to be more professional. I don't see individuals really kicking it like that in regards of wearing a suit and tie when it comes to covering a woman's sports. And I wanted to market myself a little bit different. You know, be a little bit cleaner, be a little bit different, and differentiate myself and distinguish myself from the others, right? I don't want to follow the pack. I want to be better. I want to thrive, and I want you guys to be a part and along for the ride. So, with no further ado, family, let me know what you guys think about all of this. On that note, family, as always, spread that peace, love, and positivity. Peace.